Ladies and gentlemen, Intera Capital is selling more stock of APE. This goes with my thesis that I believe July is going to be a bullish month. After we get the final reading from the judge, short sellers are going to say, hey, we have taken advantage of this opportunity. We have shorted AMC. And it looks like there's not really another negative catalyst on the horizon. AMC is going to raise a lot of capital. Probably time we cover on our short positions. That's the narrative that will play out after this next court date. It's simple. Sell the rumor, buy the news. It's asked backwards. I get it. Usually it's buy the rumor, sell the news. This time it's sell the rumor, buy the news. Meaning after the court date, AMC stock is going to fucking rally. I hope you guys are ready. If you're not, then you definitely did not watch this channel, and that would be unfortunate. So let's get into what Intera Capital is doing. Let's talk about the Ortex data. Cost to borrow fees are spiking again, and I also want to talk about the data around the world, because Europe PMIs came out. If you just type in European recession news, maybe that's not the best thing to put. It's the PMI data that is not really making people too encouraged about this market today. So we're going to get into everything you need to know. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and source your comments, questions, or concerns down below in the comments section. And if you guys want to come trade with me live in real time, link down below in the description of this video as well. If you have not already joined Webull, they are offering you 15 free stocks. I believe it's like $100 guaranteed if you sign up and deposit at least $1. It's free money. If you have not done it, help support the channel and make these videos possible. Go ahead, get yourself some free money. So let's start with the macro, the world. What's going on right now? European business activity slows in June as higher interest rates begin to bite. The UK is almost in a recession. Germany, the largest economy in Europe, is already in a recession. Smaller economies are on their way to a recession as well. So Europe is not doing so well, just to begin with. And now you're seeing that the PMI has dropped to 50.3. And anything under 50 is contractionary. It says S&P Global's Chris Williamson described the numbers as, quote, worrying as the Eurozone's flash composite PMI dropped to 50.3. Eurozone bond yields dropped following the German and French data releases. Earlier data from Germany also showed a slowdown in Europe's largest economy, and it was a similar story for France. You were expecting a PMI of 52.5, according to analysts. So you're really close to that contraction. It says a reading above 50 marks an expansion in activity, while one below 50 marks a contraction. When this is kind of interesting because our PMIs have been really bad for a while now. Let's go ahead and go US PMI. I guess 2023 has gotten a little bit better, but you were, 40s last year for the PMI. Manufacturing PMI is certainly in a recessionary level, right? You're at 46 for the PMI? 46.3 for the PMI. Composite PMI is at 53. So when you average that out, I guess it does look a little bit better. But business confidence, recessionary territory. Manufacturing PMI, recessionary territory. And these individual districts, Kansas Fed Manufacturing, recessionary. Chicago Fed National Activity, recessionary. Dallas Fed Manufacturing Index, deep recession. New York Empire State Manufacturing Index, a little bit better. You were at negative 31, deep recessionary territory. Last reading was 6.60. Philadelphia Fed Manufacturing came in at negative 13. deeply recessionary. You get the idea. So America's already seeing some of this bad data. Now that Europe is starting to see this bad data, that's a problem. And American companies are highly connected to the rest of the world. Take, for an example, an Apple, right? As of Q2 2023, the latest quarter we got from Apple, 39%, almost 40% of Apple's business was the Americas, right? They're including Canada and America here, and I guess South America as well. 40%. Europe was 25%. China is almost 19%. These three economies are not doing good. Europe's not doing well. America's not doing well. China is probably doing the best here, but it's a lot worse than people expected. The recovery is really not happening. So you take, for an example, the world's most valuable company that controls almost 8% of the S&P. It controls over 12% of the NASDAQ. You sit here and say, what is that? 40 plus 25, 65 plus 20. I mean, you're saying about 85% of Apple's region or reach, whatever wording you want to put on it, is in recession or going into a recession. That's going to have a negative impact on companies such as Apple. Markets are not pricing this in right now, so I think there is a risk there that the markets might have to price in worse numbers coming from something like an Apple, which would be negative for obviously the stock market. I mean, could be positive in terms of squeezing shorts out of short positions, drying up liquidity. That could be on a positive note. So I wanted to put that out there of what's kind of going on, because the markets are red today, in case anyone was kind of confused on that. Now, as far as Intera Capital sold 2.1 million shares of Ape, right? They now own 120 million shares of Ape. They have more than reduced their position by 60% since their initial position size. They're obviously selling out, right? They're obviously not as bullish as they were before. Some would say it's risk management, it's scaling out of a position. They're dumping out of a position. This is classical. They realize that they have squeezed out all of what they're going to get from AMC. That the actual news from the judge is not going to cause a big negative reaction. After all, you've seen that negative reaction yesterday. And that was when AMC stock dropped. The special mastery essentially said that the judge should let this reverse split go through. That's what happened. So they're selling more stock. That's bullish for what we've been saying here on this channel. I expect a rally in July. Okay. Now, check this out as well. It says brokerages set AMC Entertainment Holdings target price at $3.22. This is essentially where people think the stock will trade at on a split adjusted basis after the reverse split. $3.22. Times that by 10, you're going to be at about $30 to $33 per share, in that range, after the reverse split. That's kind of what people are targeting right now, just so you guys are aware of where AMC stock could sit. Now, I talked about this in the last video, and I think it's important to point out as well. Short positions, short interest, shares out on loan, days to cover, literally nothing will change due to this reverse split. Everything's going to look the same, but the numbers are going to be a little bit different. For an example, if you have 120 million shares that are currently sold short, if you, reduce that number by 10 times, right, then you're going to be at like 12 million shares sold short. And you're also going to reduce the float by 10x as well. So you're going to have roughly 12 million shares sold short with a float that's around 50 million shares, just for ballpark numbers here. So you're still going to have the same percentage that is sold short, just the float's going to be smaller. Now, obviously, it depends how many shares AMC does sell into the markets, things of that nature. We just don't have all of those details. But long story short, with a smaller float, it's going to be easier to squeeze shorts out of short positions. It's going to be easier to get AMC stock to move higher. Whereas right now, a ton of volume just isn't really doing much because the float is so large. There's so many shares out there. Kind of like GME. If you think about GME, they don't have a lot of volume on any given day. But when they see volume spikes, 10 million shares trading hands, for an example, that's a big deal. And that causes GME to go up 10, 15%. That's the same kind of ballpark that you are going to be in with AMC as well. So you're kind of going to take it back to the beginning in that aspect of AMC is going to be able to move a lot more when there's less shares out there. So squeezing shorts out of short positions might actually get a little bit easier. Now, let's run through some of this Ortex data and then let's get to some of the charts. So you have $515.5 million worth of short positions currently in AMC stock, 24% estimated short interest of free float out on loan at 38.63%, shares out on loan 199.5 million, days to cover 8.83, cost to borrow 135.44%, and 100% share utilization. If we take a look at the cost to borrow fees here today, they are spiking yet again. Cost to borrow max at 385%, cost to borrow average 348%, cost to borrow minimum sitting at 82.5%. Some very high numbers here with a 24% short interest of free float and 124 million shares that are currently sold short. About 250,000 shares it looks like being sold short here today. And if we take a look at the option flow sentiment, boy, is it negative. It's really being offset by a lot of these big bearish positionings. Look at this August 18th, $10 put, worth $9.28 million. A July 21st, $10 put, worth $8.46 million. This makes me exceptionally bullish on AMC. And this theory that I have that AMC is going to rally in July, it's going to rally after the court date. And that's because everyone is so negative. Okay, I'll get you some. Do you want to say hi to everyone?
No, Mommy gone.
Mommy's gone? Okay, say hi. Say hi. Say AMC to the moon. AMC to the moon?
Yeah.
AMC to the moon? Okay. Go watch Blippi. Okay. Well, nonetheless, the more bearish positionings you get, the outsized positions, that is more and more people that are going to be off sides here. Essentially, when everyone is betting for a certain outcome, you typically don't want to continue to bet alongside the mass crowd, right? It pays to play the opposite direction. And we've talked about this before, but kind of like technology heading into 2023. Nobody liked technology. What outperformed? Technology. What underperformed? What all hedge funds and institutions were saying on CNBC at the time. Buy oil, buy healthcare, buy consumer staples. They did terrible. Okay, so the more bearish you see on some of these option flows, the better it can be for AMC stock. Now, as far as the order flow, exceptionally negative. After yesterday's pretty positive, relatively speaking, order flow of about 18% positive order value, today's positive order value is 1%. You have seen 39 orders totaling $21.5 million. So a decently high dollar amount heading into AMC options, but extremely bearish overall. AMC stock is down about 2%, 1.77%. It's down about 7 cents today. Not a huge deal. I think you're going to kind of trade sideways into the end of the month, into this court decision. And then that's where you probably get that upside move. Would it surprise me if the stock trades down to the lows that we've seen at $3.75 to $3.80? That would not surprise me, okay? When I say you're going to rip from here, that's not saying there is absolutely in no way, shape, or form going to be any downside from here. It's possible there could be downside from here, okay? But you're going to rip after that, in my personal opinion. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a financial planner. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know ultimately what's going to happen, so keep that in mind. But every time AMC is oversold, the stock has rallied. You are once again oversold with AMC, and you really haven't done anything in the grand scope of things. You're really just trading sideways ever since March here. So it's not like you're breaking down to a new level or new low. You're not obviously breaking out to the upside. You're kind of just meh, kind of just doing nothing here. So that is something that I will be watching. All of these things I watch on a daily basis. If you want to stay up to date with all of this information, subscribe to the channel and turn on that notification bell. Like I said, if you want to monetarily support the channel as well, link down below in the description of this video for Webull. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. That is it. I will see you in the next one.